Tuesday, May 23rd, 2017, here on the Patriots Beat podcast. We've got a great show for you guys today. A lot of stuff to talk about here. We have the NFL owners meetings, a couple big votes coming up there. The Patriots are currently having OTAs. Well, media will have first access to OTAs later on this week, so we'll talk a little bit about that. That and plenty more here on the Patriots Beat podcast, powered by CLNS Media.
This is Larry H. Russell speaking on behalf of the network, thanking you once again for downloading the Patriots Beat podcast here on CLNS Radio, the leading online provider of audio-video coverage for New England professional sports. Download the free CLNS Radio mobile app for your iPhone or Android for immediate and convenient access to all the content available on the CLNS Radio YouTube channel, podcasting network, and clnsradio.com. Now, on to another edition of Patriots Beat. Take it away, Harris.
Thanks, Larry. What's going on, guys? Michael Longi here, filling in for Harris while he's on vacation. It is episode number 194 of the Patriots Beat podcast here, powered by CLNS Media. You can go to clnsradio.com and follow us on Twitter at CLNS Media, Facebook, facebook.com/CLNSfans. So, guys, episode number 194 is brought to you by ZipRecruiter. It's a new year, which means a fresh start for your business, and a great year starts with making great hires. Posting your job in one place is not enough to find quality candidates, so if you want to find the perfect hire, all you need to do is post your job to all the top job sites, and now you can with ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter, you can start your hiring in 2017 by posting your job to over 200 plus job sites, including social media networks like Facebook and Twitter, all with just a single click. You can find candidates in any city or industry nationwide. Just post once and watch the qualified candidates just roll into ZipRecruiter's easy-to-use interface. There's no juggling emails, no juggling calls to your office. You can quickly screen candidates, rate them, and hire the right person fast. So you can find out today why ZipRecruiter has been used by over 1 million businesses, and right now, our listeners can post jobs on ZipRecruiter for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/sportsfan. That's ZipRecruiter.com/sportsfan. One word, sportsfan. One more time, go to ZipRecruiter.com/sportsfan to post jobs for free. So, guys, obviously it's the end of May. We're coming up on June. Kind of a dead time during the NFL season, as dead as there possibly can be, but there still is news going on today. The NFL owners meetings are taking place. They would take place yesterday and today. Owners are expected to vote on a proposal that will, two proposals that will directly affect play on the field this year. So, pretty important. Let's talk about them real quick before we get into some Patriots stuff. The first thing that the owners are going to be voting on, and it is expected to be approved pretty unanimously by the owners, is a proposal that will reduce overtime. Overtime from 15 minutes to 10 minutes. So it's being spun as a player safety issue, but, you know, I'm not sure where that comes into play. Really, the fact is it looks like there's going to be a lot more ties. A lot more coaches seem to want this to happen. I mean, at the league meeting in March, coaches were really kind of supporting this, saying, yeah, you know, coaches, the overtimes really hurt the players. The players are usually exhausted, and it would be better if it was just a 10-minute overtime. So it looks like that's going to pass pretty unanimously among the owners. I don't know. It's going to be weird. It's first of all, I personally think it's going to lead to more ties. I know apparently the research says that it's not going to lead to more ties. Coaches are not convinced that it's going to lead to more ties because coaches coach to the clock, and it wouldn't be as ridiculous as it sounds. So I don't know. I think that players are probably going to be happy about it. Coaches seem to be happy about it. So at the end of the day, that's what's going to happen. I think, you know, but fans, I don't know how fans are going to feel about that. And especially if there are actually going to be more ties. If more ties end up happening, fans are going to be upset. Fans don't want to see ties. I personally hate the fact that there are ties in football, but the fact there is. So, you know, what are you going to do? Now they're just making them more likely. I don't really understand the move behind that, but I guess it's going to mean more to if you win the overtime toss. You could drive for 7.5 minutes, kick a field goal, and then hold them for, there's a lot of different things that could happen. I don't know. I'm not really sure how that's going to work. If there's more ties that end up happening, it's going to be rough. And fans are not going to like it. players and coaches probably aren't going to like it eventually because it's going to affect their team and in the standings and all that stuff. So, I don't know. Anyway, the second thing that owners are going to be voting on, which will receive universal support and probably should, there's a proposal that means that now teams will be allowed to bring back 2 players from injured reserve during the season. So back in 2012, they decided that, okay, we're going to have, as long as a player has been on injured reserve for at least 6 weeks, he can return to the field 8 weeks after he was placed on injured reserve. So the Patriots did that last year with Dion Lewis. They held him out until, I believe it was week 9. They placed him back on a short-term injured reserve in training camp after the setback, and then waited until, I think it was week 9, maybe week 10, and they brought him back. They took him off injured reserve, I believe in week 8 or week 7, and then gave him a couple weeks just practicing and not starting, and then he ended up playing and ended up contributing to the team. So now you can do that for 2 players. In 2012, they made the rule that you can do it for 1 player. So now you can do it for 2. And, it makes sense. It's just more flexibility on the roster. It gives teams a better chance if you lose a really good player, let's say you lose 2 really good players early on in the season, you put them on the short-term IR, and you can bring them both back. Before this, you'd have to make a decision on which one of those guys you bring back. So that's a good idea. I personally think it would be a great move for them. And there's also going to be a couple things, on-field player celebrations, stuff like that. They're going to be talking about stuff like that. But those are the 2 main things coming out of the owners' meetings today. So, things to look out for. Those are things that will actually affect play on the field. So those are, things to pay attention to, things you want to know about. Moving on to some Patriots stuff. We'll get out of here. We're not going to be here for too long today, guys. While there is some stuff to talk about, there is not a ton of stuff to talk about. So I'll just get you guys caught up on some key dates coming up on the Patriots calendar. It's starting to really kind of take shape. We're looking at things for at least the next couple of months. We've kind of got things pretty much laid out for us. So yesterday and today there were Patriots organized team activities. They were closed to both the public and the media. So we're not really sure what's going on there yet. Guys are just showing up. At this point in the year, they were able to start showing up last week. This week, they're allowed to stay for longer periods of time at the facility. I believe it went from 4 hours to 6 hours, or from 6 hours to 8 hours per day they're allowed to spend at the facility. But Thursday is the day that you guys want to watch out for, because Thursday is the day that the first day that organized team activities will be open to the media. Now, they'll be closed to the public, so you won't be able to go down to Gillette and watch them or anything like that, but the media will have access to that day on OTAs on Thursday, which obviously works out perfect for us here at Patriots Beat, because we'll be bringing you an episode on Friday morning. So I'll be sure to get on. I'll be back here on Thursday. I'm back here on Friday, so I'll be sure to pay attention on Thursday, get all the reports for you guys, and give you your first real report on the team on the field from OTAs this Thursday. Next week, there'll also be another one. The 31st and June 1st, there'll be more organized team activities that will be closed to both the public and the media. And then minicamp. Minicamp is only two and a half weeks away, June 6th to the 8th. Again, closed to the public. You won't be able to go down there and watch, but the media will be there. Also, June 12th, there'll be another OTA that's open to the media. So we'll have some news rolling in over the next couple weeks of players on the field, how guys are looking, things to look for. Obviously, there's so many new players on this team that, both on offense and defense, it'll be really interesting to see how these guys, react with one another. It'll be interesting to see what Stephon Gilmore's role is. Is he really, he's going to be the number 1 corner, taking Malcolm Butler's spot off of his own team? Is that going to be the case? Brandon Cooks, how is he going to look? How's the chemistry between Cooks and Brady? How's the chemistry between the rest of the receivers and Brady? It's going to be interesting to see how all these guys get going. We've got a bunch of new running backs on the team. So there's a lot of moving parts here. We got a lot of rookies coming in, some rookie free agents that we've got. So there's a lot of different things that you're going to want to keep an eye on over these next couple weeks, because we're really going to we have 3 opportunities for the media to be able to say what's going on the field. You won't be able to go down there and watch him. That won't happen until training camp in late July. A date has yet to be set for that, so late July, the official date will be announced. I'm assuming shortly, probably some point in June. We'll bring that to you guys once we get it, but those are the key dates. Like I said, over the next couple weeks are really the days that we're going to want to start paying attention. I know it's NHL playoff season, it's NBA playoff season. All you Celtics fans out there, we got a really great treat on Sunday. The season could potentially be over by the time training camp rolls around on Thursday, however. So while I would like to keep an optimist point of view as a Celtics fan, the fact of the matter is you might want to start focusing on football once the end of the week rolls around. And we'll be able to bring that to you on our Friday episode. We'll bring you all the reports from that first media access to OTAs on Thursday. So other than that, guys, there's some interesting, little bits and stuff in the news. Obviously, last week we had the big news with Tom Brady. Did he have a concussion? He was not diagnosed. His agent, Don Yee, came out and said, there's, quote, Tom was not diagnosed with a concussion last year. Many of the protocols and safeguards are still evolving, and it's obviously a good thing the organization and everyone else close to him is visual and always looking out for his health, end quote. This was obviously started last week when Tom Brady's wife, Giselle, went on CBS this morning and said that Tom's had concussions. He had one this past season. Would I doubt that Tom Brady had a concussion this past year, like at some point? No, I wouldn't doubt that. Absolutely not. I think that it's highly possible that happened, even potentially likely that happened. But here's the deal. In order for, a guy to get diagnosed with a concussion, he's got to, first of all, show the symptoms. Not every concussion you visibly show the symptoms of that concussion. So there's a high possibility that Tom Brady, in his, 17th year in the NFL, has learned, I hate to say this, I hate to be this guy, but he's probably learned how to hide a concussion at this point, right? I mean, let's not be naive here. Let's not be naive. I think Tom Brady potentially could have had a concussion last year, not told the team about it, and played through it and been fine. I think that is very possible. It's also possible that Tom Brady never had a concussion, and Giselle, who, obviously cares about her husband's health because she's mentioned before that she wants him to retire, right? And, she obviously said that stuff on CBS this morning because she's saying, she wants him to be around for a long time and she wants, him to potentially quit playing football. Now, on the other hand, Tom Brady's saying, hey, I want to play for at least 5 more years. So there's a little bit of a disconnect there, but, it's tough. Concussions are always a sketchy subject. I think that it's pretty obvious that if the team had known Tom Brady had a concussion, he would not have played. I mean, they did have Jimmy Garoppolo at whatever point we're saying. Let's say Tom Brady had a concussion in week 9 or week 10 or something, right? Jimmy Garoppolo was on the team. He was still able to play. If that's the case, I mean, we saw what he did earlier in the season. If Brady had a concussion and needed to sit out a game or two, I have no doubt that they wouldn't have a problem putting Jimmy Garoppolo back on the field. So I'm not really sure where this whole thing where, he was hiding it. There's no way that the team was hiding it. Not that Brady was hiding it, because that's possible, because he wants to play. But that the team was hiding it? That the team would actually risk, after all the stuff that's happened, and after all the ridiculous things that the NFL has gone after the Patriots for the team to then decide, let's hide Tom Brady's concussion from the league, that would be foolish. And if that is the case, I would hope that they get caught for that, because that is just absolutely ridiculous. But I don't think that's the case. I don't think that Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft and the team doctor and everyone else that would have to be in on this whole scheme, I don't think they're all that stupid, especially after the past 2 years, what we've seen happen. So I'm going to go with Tom Brady probably didn't have a concussion. That's just me. That's what I'm going to go with. Probably didn't have a concussion. But who knows? I mean, if anyone would know, I guess it would be Tom Brady's beautiful supermodel wife, Giselle, who he probably would let know something like that. But, who am I to say? I have no idea. We're going to take a quick break right now, and then we'll come back and we'll just wrap it up with some other news and notes from around the Patriots world.
Not all ingredients are created equal. Fresh, high-quality ingredients make a real difference, so it's important to know where your food comes from. I know that me personally, when I was living in a college dorm, I used Blue Apron in order to get my fresh ingredients so that me and my roommate Jack could cook up some nice meals, maybe some fresh steaks, maybe some good chili, some quality stuff. And it's also a very fun holiday gift, so maybe for a nice Valentine's Day gift or a nice birthday gift coming up, I wouldn't give it to a girlfriend. Obviously, Blue Apron would be a little rough, but give it to a family member. Maybe they can get some high-quality ingredients in their life. For less than $10 per meal, Blue Apron delivers seasonal recipes along with pre-portioned ingredients to make delicious home-cooked meals. Blue Apron knows that when you cook with incredible ingredients, you make incredible meals, so they set the highest quality standards for their community of artisanal suppliers, family-run farms, fisheries, and ranchers. Whether it's Japanese ramen noodles, wild-caught Alaskan salmon, or heirloom tomatoes, Blue Apron is bringing you the best. So check out this week's menu. Get your first 3 meals free with free shipping. Go to blueapron.com/Patriots. You will love how good it feels and tastes to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron, so don't wait. That's blueapron.com/Patriots. Blue Apron, a better way to cook.
All right, we are back here on the Patriots Beat podcast, just wrapping things up here. Some news and notes from around the team. We were discussing Tom Brady a little earlier. Some more Tom Brady news around the way. Tom Brady has a new corporate sponsor. So as we all know, Tom Brady is generally associated with some pretty expensive stuff. He's very few corporate sponsors for Tom Brady. He's got Under Armour, he's got Tag Heuer, he's got that Beauty Resta mattress, and Uggs, and now Aston Martin, the British car manufacturer, announced on Friday that Tom Brady has been signed to a multi-year endorsement deal. Tom Brady will be driving and pitching the Aston Martin DB11, which is a car that, if you are wondering, costs just under $212,000. According to the North American president of Aston Martin, Laura Schwab, quote, "We're looking for partnerships that make the brand resonate and make sure people know who we are. Tom and Aston Martin are similarly aligned with their path to excellence." And Tom said, quote, "As a longtime fan and driver, I'm honored to join the Aston Martin team at this special moment in the company's history." So, Tom, I'm looking at a picture of the car right now, and it is very nice. Yeah. The part of the deal, I guess Brady said, part of the deal is that there will be a bunch of commercials in which Brady will share what drives him, and then he'll be featured with the car. It'll be, stuff like that. He will also create his own version of the company's Vanquish S car, and only 12 of those cars will be made and sold to the public. So those are going to be real expensive. We're talking, you think $212,000 expensive? These ones are going to be real expensive. So Tom Brady just continues to kill it, making money wherever he can. That's interesting. That is interesting. Tom Brady just, he only gets the most exclusive endorsement deals. He's not out here pitching Taco Bell, right? He's pitching Aston Martin. He's pitching Under Armour. He's pitching Uggs. He's pitching all this other crazy stuff. Hey, more power to him. I'm sure that money that's coming in from that will be just as good, if not better, than any money he can get from football. So, and that money is gonna be much less taxing on him, right, than the football career, as we were just speaking about concussions and stuff before the break. Some other news from around Patriots land. Voting concluded for the Patriots Hall of Fame this past Monday, so we'll be able to see probably later on this summer who was voted into the Patriots Hall of Fame. But there are now, this week, there should be a fan vote that will be announced. It hasn't been announced yet, but we're still waiting on it. The choices for this year's fan choice are cornerback Raymond Claiborne, who played with the team from 1977 to 1989, defensive lineman Richard Seymour, who was a part of 3 Super Bowl winning teams from 2001 to 2008. He was here. Same with Mike Vrabel, who was a linebacker for that same period of time, 2001 to 2008, 3-time champion. Those are the 3 finalists. all of them do deserve to get in. I obviously can't claim to have watched Raymond Claiborne play because he retired 2 years before I was born. However, Richard Seymour and Mike Vrabel are two of, my all-time favorite Patriots players from those original Super Bowl teams. It's, none of them is a slam dunk. There have been other players over the past, especially the past few years, that have been like, well, obviously he's going to get in as the fan choice. Drew Bledsoe, 2011. Troy Brown, 2012. Teddy Bruschi, 2013, Ty Law, 2014. So, that's going to be interesting to see who, because Seymour and Vrabel could very well potentially take votes from each other. As, fans that were, younger fans who didn't see Claiborne play, guys like me who didn't see Claiborne play. They did see Seymour play. They grew up with Seymour and Vrabel. But those two could, split the vote. Seymour was so great, such a great player, such a great pass rusher, such a critical part of those defensive lines. But think about Mike Vrabel and his impact and the fact that he used to catch passes on offense and stuff like that. I mean, that's a tough choice to decide between. And then Raymond Claiborne, obviously, who played for 12 years with the Patriots, great cornerback, one of the best corners in the history of the team. That's another difficult choice. Then again, like I mentioned, he'll probably only catch votes from older fans, unless there are younger fans who know about the exploits of Raymond Claiborne. And if there are those people, I don't know who they are, right? So I think it's probably going to come down to either Seymour or Vrabel, and that is a tough choice. That is a tough choice. Now, I'm not sure how it works with the Patriots Hall of Fame. If, one of them doesn't get it, then they'll never get a chance to get in. Because if that's the case, that's going to be tough. It's going to make it even tougher to decide whether Seymour or Vrabel, especially, looking at them, they played the same amount of years in New England. They won the same amount of Super Bowls in New England. They both contributed heavily to those Super Bowl wins in New England. So, that is a tough choice to make. That is a tough choice to make. But like I said, we're going to find out this week. Hopefully we can bring you that information on Friday's episode of Patriots Beat. We'll be able to let you guys know who won the fan vote for the Patriots Hall of Fame. Other news around, Jason McCourty. There was a lot of rumors earlier this offseason that Jason McCourty, the twin brother of Devin McCourty, would potentially sign with the Patriots. But, he even told the NFL Network that there was mutual interest, but there's no room for him. Quote, there's no room for me on that team. So, that's pretty obvious. I would say I think it would be great if we had Jason McCourty on the team. I think it would be awesome, but it would mean that he's the number 3 cornerback, and I don't think that's where he wants to be playing. He's not going to be playing in the slot, and even there, you kind of want to see. God, I guess you want to try to see what Cyrus Jones is going to do this year, because he was your second-round pick, your top draft pick 2 years ago. He had a terrible year as a rookie, and not something that you can't recover from, but he had a terrible year as a rookie. So he's really got to turn it around. Hopefully he can do that. And you're going to want to see him. You're going to want to see some of these younger guys. They signed a couple undrafted guys in order to bring them in here. See who can work in that 3rd, 4th, 5th corner spot. There's going to be some slots open for special teams guys. I'm not entirely sure I want to see Cyrus Jones playing special teams this year, which is unfortunate because he was a great special teams player in college. His exploits are well known, but he was god awful last year. In the punt return game, he was terrible in coverage. It looked like he didn't know what he was doing out there. So it's tough. It's tough. But there's that. There's one other little piece of news here. Out of the Patriots world. Former Patriots center Brian Stork, jumped onto the scene as a rookie, contributed, started right away, had 2 really good years in the NFL, but battled concussions. They kept him off the field. The Patriots ended up trading him away after David Andrews, another rookie, beat Stork out for the job last year during training camp. Traded him to the Redskins. He failed his physical in Washington. The trade was rescinded, and the Patriots just released him. Not long after that, well, actually in March of this year, he tried to catch on with another team. In March of this year, he retired from the NFL. He announced last month that he's become a licensed realtor, and now, on Thursday night, he announced that he accepted a graduate assistant job with Southern Mississippi. So he's going to be the offensive line coach, an assistant offensive line coach at the University of Southern Mississippi. So that's good. I mean, good to see him landing on his feet, only 26 years old. He only got to play 2 years in the league. So really, I mean, he doesn't even qualify for like a league pension or anything like that when you got to play at least 3 years in the league in order to get that money. So he didn't even qualify for that because he couldn't hang on for that long. Unfortunate, absolutely. Obviously, the concussions issue once again pops up. That's tough. That's tough to hear, but it's great that he caught another job in football. He's going to be a coach. Hopefully, he can move his way up and become. I'm sure he'll pursue this and try to become a real offensive line coach and maybe even an offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator or maybe even a head coach one day in either college or the pros or whatever. So all the best wishes to Brian Stork and his ventures out there. But guys, we really don't have much left for you guys today. Much more full episode on Friday. We're going to get reports galore from all the beat reporters coming out from OTAs. The first media access to OTAs will take place on Thursday, May 24th. May 25th, we will be bringing you Patriots Beat on Friday. We'll be able to talk about all things Patriots OTAs. How does Brandon Cooks look with Tom Brady? How did the young defensive players look trying to come in here? How do all the new running backs look? Who's trying to get a spot? Who's doing what? Who's playing special teams? Who's the third corner? Who's the second safety? Who's all these different things? We'll have answers to all these questions. Not all of them, but some of them. And we'll start to look at answers to other questions on Friday's Patriots Beat. We'll be bringing that to you live. Until then, guys, thanks again for downloading today's Patriots Beat. Today's sponsor, as always, ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter.com/sportsfan to post your jobs for free. Again, that is ZipRecruiter.com/sportsfan. That's one word, sportsfan, to post jobs for free. I would like to thank our CLNS Media executive producer, Larry H. Russell, the founder of our great network, Nick Gelso, and everyone else who tuned in. My name is Mike Alonji. This is the Patriots Beat Podcast, powered by CLNS Media.